Hi, my name is Subash and I just got back from a 4-day 3-night solo backpacking trip on one of the great walk of New Zealand, Abel Tasman. This was my first overnight backpacking trip ever. Here's the plan. On December 30, I drive 6 hours to Christchurch and stay with my friend Spandan. And the next day, drive again another 6 hours to Nelson and stay there to enjoy the New Year's Eve. The next morning, which is January 1st, 2022, Happy New Year, I drive another 1.5 hours to reach Marahau to start the hike. I hike, I keep on hiking, then take that water taxi to return back to Marahau, grab a car and drive straight back to Christchurch and then again drive back to Kaitangata where I live. A lot of kilometers was done in not a lot of days.
Hello and namaste सबैजनालाई. Happy New Year 2022. So currently it's 8:45 a.m. in the morning and I am heading towards the Abel Tasman track.
I started my hike from Marahau around 8:40 in the morning. My goal was to reach a place called Anchorage at first, which would take about 4 hours to reach. The track went through open country, then forest with large kanuka trees. After walking for a few hours, the track eventually turns inland, winding in and out of several little gullies before emerging to a beautiful view of Anchorage Bay. I reached there around 12:30, so I took some rest to walk through the low tide crossing.
Alright, I'm here at Anchorage Bay. So halfway for my walk for today. So I have to wait for the low tide.
After an hour's rest, I head towards the low tide crossing, and with this, I left the beach and started climbing gently into the lush coastal forest. After wandering through the forest for some time, the track led back to the sea, and then I reached to the golden sand of Bark Bay. After enjoying the beach for some time, I set up my tent, cook dinner and then call it a day.
My coffee is done and it's gonna be my breakfast. So instant oats with nuts, and this is the view. So breakfast with the view.
With a good sleep and a great breakfast by the beach, I started my day 2 to reach Awaroa Hut to cross another tidal crossing to reach my campsite, Waiharekeke. Today was a difficult day as the track to Awaroa Hut was both mixed with uphill and downhill way. Because of this, I had to take several 5-minute butt breaks on the way. I reached Awaroa Hut around 1 p.m. and took a rest for 2 hours before crossing the tidal inlet. This is the larger tidal inlet in the track. After the rest and the crossing, I was excited to reach my campsite, which was just an hour's walk. After reaching the destination, I set up my tent, cooked some ramen noodles this time and call it a day. I woke up early with the sound of weka today. These birds were everywhere. To be honest, I really didn't like the campsite. The campsite was in the bush. The beach was not that good, so it was fine for me to wake up early and pack up everything to reach my next destination, which was the Mutton Cove.
Hello everyone, good morning. It's day 3.
The hill between the Waiharekeke to Totaranui is a bit of challenging. It's completely uphill, followed by a downhill track, but for me, it was not as bad as day 2. Totaranui was a surprise for me. There were so many campers and so many people. Later, I found out Totaranui is the largest campsite in the Tasman region. Well, it was good to see some people after walking for 3 days. From Totaranui, I walked towards the less traveled part of the track to come across the beautiful beaches of Anapai and my favorite destination of this entire hike, which is Mutton Cove. I reached my campsite around 1 p.m. I set up my tent, stayed on the beach sand for some time, and I head to see the separation points, which was 30 minutes walk from the campsite. And let me tell you, this was my favorite place in the entire trek. After spending some time there, I came back to my tent, spent time again on the beach, and call it a day for my last and 5 hour of remaining walk to finish my hike.
Good morning. Last day.
The last day, the day to reach to the end of the Abel Tasman. I was excited and happy throughout my last 1 hour of walk to reach the hut. The hut is the last place of Abel Tasman. This is where Abel Tasman, the explorer, unsuccessfully tries his only landing in the New Zealand. After an hour of walking through the forest and looking at the view of the ocean by my right, I made it to my final destination. I made it to Wariwarangi Hut.
Wariwarangi Hut. End of Abel Tasman.
As I reached to the final of the hike, I became somehow emotional. Despite my blistered, hurting body and tired mind, the hike was some of the most enjoyable I have ever had outside. There were times when I questioned myself why I came to the hike, as it was challenging to carry everything I needed to survive on my back while walking through the nature from day to dark. Keeping myself motivated to keep on going was the only way for me to make this trip easy and achievable. As Nimsdai says in 40 Peaks, giving up is not in the blood, it's not in the blood.